Look up at the night sky for a moment in your imagination. The moon, that familiar companion, glows softly above, steady, constant, almost eternal. And yet, on some nights, something strange happens. The light begins to fade, as if the moon is slowly vanishing into shadow. What is happening up there? Why does the moon, which has watched over us for millennia, suddenly darken and even turn the color of fire? Tonight, we'll drift together into the quiet mystery of the lunar eclipse, a story told in light, shadow, and time. This is not just science. It is poetry written by the cosmos, a reminder that even in darkness, beauty glows through. And as we journey through it, you'll not only learn what really happens during a lunar eclipse, but you'll also find calm in the rhythm of the skies. Before we begin, let me gently ask, if you enjoy these softly spoken stories of wonder and rest, subscribe to The Thoughtful Night. Give this video a like, and let me know in the comments. From where in the world are you watching the moon tonight? Your sky, my sky, one sky, and tonight we share its shadow. So close your eyes if you wish. Let your breathing slow. Imagine yourself standing under the open sky, the air cool and still, the moon above you. Soon, we will step into the path of Earth's shadow and watch the moon slip away into the red glow of mystery. Welcome, then, to this gentle voyage. What happens during a lunar eclipse? High above the world, steady and pale, the moon waits each night. It has become such a constant presence that most of us rarely pause to notice it. Yet when you allow your gaze to rest on its silver face, you realize that it is more than a ball of rock in the sky. It is a companion, a lantern, and a reminder of time's slow turning. The moon has no voice, and yet it has spoken to every civilization. Poets have poured their longing into it. Sailors have relied on its glow to guide them across uncertain waters. Farmers once set their planting and harvest cycles by its changing shape. Lovers have written it into their vows. Children have whispered their secrets to it before falling asleep. To think of the moon is to think of a mirror, not only of sunlight but of human imagination. Its light is not its own. The glow we see is the sun's radiance, reflected off dust and stone across a gulf of nearly 400,000 kilometers. And yet, because of that reflected shine, the moon feels alive. It has moods, thin and sharp when a crescent, soft and full when round, hidden and mysterious when new. Each phase feels like a gesture, a slow hand moving across the calendar of our nights. There is power in the moon's pull quite literally. Its gravity draws the oceans into tides, rising and falling in steady rhythm. Without the moon, Earth's seas would be restless in another way, their movements weaker, their cycles less predictable. The moon steadies the dance of water and, in doing so, steadies the lives built along its shores. Millions of species, from tiny crabs to giant whales, are tuned to the rhythm of its invisible tug. Because of this dependability, people across history have woven myths around the moon. In Greece, it became Artemis, the watchful huntress. In China, it was home to a rabbit mixing the elixir of life. In Africa, some tribes saw it as a protector, cooling the fierce sun with its gentler glow. In Europe, it was sometimes feared, associated with madness. The word lunacy still carries its name. No matter the culture, the moon was never just a rock. It was a presence, a character in the story of the sky. When you stand outside on a clear night and feel its pale light wash over your skin, you can almost believe it is watching you back. Its face, scarred with craters, seems to hold a quiet memory of the universe itself. It has been struck by asteroids, scarred by ancient lava flows, and yet it endures, round and luminous, circling Earth without pause. Night after night, it keeps its vigil. Perhaps that is why an eclipse feels so unsettling. The moon is meant to be there, a given, a friend who never fails to appear. When its light suddenly begins to fade, the heart stirs. Something familiar has shifted. The rhythm is broken. It feels, for a moment, as though the world has tilted in some mysterious way. And yet, the disappearing moon is not an ending but a new chapter of its story. The steady companion steps into shadow, Earth's own shadow, and becomes part of a cosmic alignment that has fascinated humanity for thousands of years. What begins as a familiar silver circle gradually transforms into something unexpected, a darkened orb glowing faintly red, like a coal in the sky. This is the promise of the eclipse, that even the most constant things can surprise us. The moon we think we know is not lost when it darkens. It is only showing us another side of its relationship with Earth and Sunday. It reminds us that even in the most reliable patterns, there are moments of wonder, moments that break routine and invite us to look deeper. So the moon, our nightly companion, prepares us for the story ahead. We begin with what feels steady and eternal, the glowing face that has guided tides, inspired myths, and comforted dreamers. But as we continue, we will follow it into shadow, into the geometry of darkness, into the cosmic theater where light and earth combine to weave the mystery of the lunar eclipse. Every eclipse begins with something so ordinary that we rarely think about it. Shadows. You see them every day, stretched across sidewalks, clinging to trees, bending beneath your footsteps. Yet the greatest shadow of all, the shadow of Earth itself, is usually invisible. Only during a lunar eclipse does this vast, planetary darkness reveal itself, painted across the face of the moon. To understand this shadow, imagine Earth standing as an actor upon a cosmic stage. Behind us, the sun is the spotlight, pouring its rays across the vastness of space. Just as your body blocks sunlight to cast a shadow on the ground, Earth too casts a shadow into the night sky. But because Earth is so large, its shadow stretches far, nearly 1.5 million kilometers long, tapering like a cone. Within this cone lies the secret of the lunar eclipse. The geometry is beautifully simple. The sun, the earth, and the moon must line up in that exact order. When this happens, the moon, drifting silently in its orbit, passes into the cone of Earth's shadow. What we see from the ground is the familiar silver moon slowly dimming, as if an unseen hand is lowering the curtain on a stage. But Earth's shadow is not one solid blanket of darkness. It has layers, just as twilight has shades between day and night. The outer portion, known as the penumbra, is a region of partial shadow where only part of the sun's light is blocked. When the moon first steps into this outer veil, its surface only dims slightly, so gently that many people might not even notice. The penumbral stage of an eclipse is like the soft clearing of a throat before the performance begins. Deeper within lies the umbra, the heart of Earth's shadow. Here, the sun is completely blocked from view. As the moon crosses into this darker region, it seems as though a bite has been taken from its edge. Slowly, more of it is consumed, until sometimes it disappears entirely. To watch this unfold is to feel the grandness of celestial mechanics. Massive worlds, locked in orbit, tracing paths with quiet precision. It is important to remember that nothing mystical is stealing the moon away. The shadow is as real as the one you cast when you stand in the sunlight. The difference is scale. Earth's shadow is vast, stretching so far into space that the entire moon can be swallowed within it. This is geometry written across the heavens, a reminder that even in silence the universe follows rules both elegant and predictable. And yet, there is something deeply theatrical about it. The eclipse does not arrive all at once. It builds, moment by moment, as the moon glides across the boundary between light and dark. First the faint penumbral shading, then the sharper bite of the umbra, and then, perhaps, the moment when the curtain falls completely, and the moon is cloaked in Earth's shadow. It is as though the cosmos has staged a play just for us, a drama written in light and obscurity. From Earth's surface, the effect can feel strangely intimate. The moon looks so small, hanging there in the night, that it is easy to forget it is a world nearly 3,500 kilometers wide. And yet our planet, casting its shadow, covers it effortlessly. Earth is larger, heavier, and closer to the sun's radiance, and the moon's fate during an eclipse is sealed by that geometry. The shadow belongs to Earth, but the beauty of it belongs to anyone willing to look up. Imagine, for a moment, standing in an ancient field thousands of years ago. You do not yet know about penumbras and umbras, about orbital mechanics or cones of darkness stretching into space. You only see the familiar moon dimming strangely, shadows creeping across its face. You might have thought of a monster or a god or a sign from the heavens. And yet what you were seeing, though mysterious, was simple. The stage of Earth's shadow passing across the moon, repeating its pattern with patience through the centuries. There is comfort in knowing that this stage play is not random. The sun always shines. The Earth always blocks. The moon always orbits. Their alignment is rare, yes, but never chaotic. When all three fall into line, the shadow inevitably follows, a dark ribbon drawn through space. This orderliness is what has allowed humans, from ancient Babylonians to modern astronomers, to predict eclipses with astonishing accuracy. A lunar eclipse is therefore more than a shadow. It is a demonstration of cosmic structure. It shows us, gently but clearly, that the heavens are not disorderly but connected, bound by patterns. To watch Earth's shadow slide across the moon is to glimpse that structure, the invisible architecture of light, distance, and motion. And when you watch the eclipse unfold, remember this. You are not simply looking at the moon. You are looking at the Earth's own presence in space, its invisible reach. You are seeing the mark our planet leaves as it stands between the sun and its companion. Earth's shadow is not nothingness. It is our own shape, stretched into the dark. The stage is set, the curtain drawn, the drama begun. The moon, once so steady and luminous, has entered the play of light and shadow. From here, we will follow it deeper, into the geometry of alignment, where the rarity of eclipses reveals itself as the delicate timing of a cosmic dance. If Earth's shadow stretches endlessly into space, you might wonder, why doesn't the moon disappear into it every month? After all, the moon circles Earth once every 4 weeks, passing from new to full, from crescent to crescent. Shouldn't every full moon, perfectly opposite the sun, fall into shadow? The answer lies in a quiet tilt, a subtle angle that turns each orbit into a dance rather than a straight march. The moon's path around Earth is not a flat ring. Instead, it is tilted about 5 degrees compared to the path Earth itself follows around the sun. Imagine holding 2 hoops in your hands, one large and one small. If they are perfectly flat, the small hoop would cross directly into the larger one each time it rotated. But tilt the smaller hoop ever so slightly, and suddenly, it glides above or below. That is what happens in space. Most months, the moon slips just above or just below Earth's shadow, missing the darkness entirely. This tilt creates 2 special crossing points called nodes. Think of them as the points where the moon's tilted orbit intersects the flat path of Earth's orbit, the great highway we call the ecliptic. Only when the moon is near one of these nodes at the exact time of a full moon can a lunar eclipse occur. Otherwise, the alignment misses by millions of kilometers, and the moon remains bright and untroubled. Alignment, then, is the key word. The sun, Earth, and moon are 3 celestial dancers moving on vast, invisible tracks. Their steps are governed by gravity, their rhythm by orbital periods. The moon orbits Earth every 27 days. Earth orbits the sun every 365, and together these cycles weave a complex choreography. Most of the time, the steps don't quite line up. But sometimes, and this is what makes eclipses so rare and precious, they do. For a few hours, all 3 dancers bow in a perfect line, and the shadow play begins. If you picture this alignment from space, it looks deceptively simple. Draw a straight line from the sun, through Earth and out toward the moon. When that line is exact, the eclipse unfolds. But in practice, it requires exquisite timing. Even a slight shift in the moon's position, a little too high or too low, and Earth's shadow slips past, invisible to us. The moon remains fully lit, its glow unbroken. The alignment is missed, and the stage remains empty. There is a quiet poetry in this rarity. The moon is always orbiting, Earth is always circling the sun, and yet the 3 of them manage to align in shadow only a few times each year. In between, we wait. We look up at ordinary full moons, knowing that eventually, one night, the steps of the dance will fall into harmony. The very scarcity of eclipses makes them feel like gifts. Ancient observers noticed this too. They might not have spoken of nodes or orbital tilts, but they knew that eclipses came only now and then, never at every full moon. To them, It was as if the heavens chose special nights to whisper their secrets. Today, with our science, we can predict those nights decades in advance. Yet the wonder remains the same. That three vast bodies in space can align so delicately, so precisely, that shadows hundreds of thousands of kilometers long can meet the face of the moon. Think again of the dancers. The sun, radiant and steady, marks the rhythm. Earth, larger and nearer, sweeps along in its endless path. The moon, smaller, lighter, turns around Earth like a partner circling in time. For most of the performance, they move past each other, their steps close but not exact. Then, once in a while, they fall perfectly into line and the audience, all of us standing on Earth's surface, looks up and sees the result. The dance becomes visible. It is worth remembering that this dance has been going on for billions of years. Long before humans noticed, long before eyes evolved to see, the alignments were happening. Shadows stretched, eclipses darkened, light bent through atmospheres. The universe does not perform for us, and yet we are here to watch, small beings on a small world, catching sight of a cosmic choreography that has unfolded silently since the beginning. So the answer to the question, why not every month, is found in this tilted orbit, in these nodes, in the rare alignments of three moving worlds. The moon we think we know glides past Earth's shadow most of the time, untouched. But when the geometry falls into place, the stage is set, and the curtain of darkness descends. As the moon steps deeper into this alignment, the eclipse reveals itself in stages. The shadow grows sharper, the light dimmer, until the transformation is undeniable. It is to those stages, penumbral, partial, and total, that we now turn, tracing the moon's journey into the heart of Earth's shadow. When the moon drifts into Earth's shadow, the change does not happen all at once. It is a gradual slipping away, a quiet layering of dimness that unfolds step by step, like the stages of falling asleep. To understand a lunar eclipse, you must walk with the moon through each of these stages of darkness, from the faintest veil to the deepest shadow. The first stage is called the penumbral eclipse. Here, the moon brushes against the outer edge of Earth's shadow, the penumbra. Imagine the soft shade you find under a tree in late afternoon. The sunlight still reaches you, but muted, filtered through leaves. That is what happens to the moon. Sunlight still reaches its surface, but not directly. A small portion of the sun's rays are blocked by Earth, casting a delicate shading. For many observers, this stage is almost invisible. The moon looks slightly dimmer, its brightness softened, as though someone has placed a thin veil across its face. Astronomers often note the penumbral phase with care, but to most eyes it feels like a whisper, a gentle prelude to the drama that is about to follow. Then comes the partial eclipse. This is when the moon enters the umbra, Earth's central, darkest shadow. Suddenly, the change is unmistakable. A dark bite seems to be taken out of the moon's glowing edge, a curve of shadow that deepens as the minutes pass. Slowly, steadily, the shadow creeps across the lunar surface, swallowing craters and plains, dimming seas of ancient lava one after another. To watch a partial eclipse is to see geometry in action. The roundness of Earth's shadow painted against the roundness of the moon, two spheres revealing their true shapes through the play of light. The partial phase can last more than an hour, long enough for you to truly feel the slow turning of celestial gears. Unlike the quick covering of the sun during a solar eclipse, the lunar eclipse unfolds with patience. You can sit, breathe, and watch the moon transform at a pace that feels almost meditative. The bite grows larger, the silver crescent smaller, until finally the moon is drawn entirely into Earth's shadow. That moment brings us to the total eclipse, the heart of the event. You might expect the moon to vanish completely once it is inside the umbra. After all, no direct sunlight reaches it there. But instead of disappearing, the moon glows with an otherworldly light, deep orange, copper, or even red. It is as though the moon has traded its familiar silver for the glow of embers. This is the stage that captures imaginations, the blood moon that has fueled myths and legends across cultures. Why does the moon turn red? The answer is both simple and beautiful. Earth's atmosphere bends sunlight, curving it into the shadow. Shorter wavelengths, blues and greens, scatter away, the same scattering that makes the daytime sky appear blue. What remains are the longer wavelengths, the warm reds and oranges of sunset. During a total lunar eclipse, every sunrise and sunset happening across Earth is, in a sense, projected onto the moon. It glows with the light of our horizons, bathed in the colors of Earth's atmosphere. Totality can last from a few minutes to more than an hour, depending on the moon's exact path through the umbra. During this time, the world often feels different. The moon's glow dims the night, stars emerge more vividly, and there is a hushed quality to the landscape. Animals may grow quiet, people may gather in wonder, and the sky itself seems to pause. To stand beneath a blood moon is to feel connected to Earth, to the atmosphere wrapping it, and to the cosmic dance that placed all three bodies in line. Eventually, the cycle reverses. The moon drifts out of the umbra, the shadow receding like a tide. Brightness returns to its edge, silver regains its dominance, and the red fades away. The moon passes again through the penumbra, though most will not notice this final whisper of shadow. Step by step, the familiar face returns, and the night sky resumes its usual order. The stages of darkness are complete, the drama concluded, until the next alignment calls it forth again. There is something soothing about the structure of these stages. Penumbral, partial, total, and then back again. They remind us that change unfolds in patterns, that even the fading of light follows a rhythm. Nothing in an eclipse is rushed. The moon takes its time, slipping gently into shadow, resting in its glow of red, and slowly re-emerging into brightness. To follow the moon through these stages is to mirror our own human experiences of light and dark. We move through subtle changes, through partial obscurities, through moments of total transformation, before finding our way back into clarity. The stages of darkness are not only an astronomical reality but a metaphor for the cycles of life. As the eclipse deepens and totality takes hold, we are left with a question. Why does the moon, hidden in shadow, burn so red? To answer, we must turn our eyes back toward Earth, to the thin shell of atmosphere that bends light and colors the moon with every sunset on the planet. That is where the next part of our journey begins. When the moon is fully swallowed by Earth's shadow, you might expect darkness, a vanishing act, a sudden absence in the sky. Instead, the opposite occurs. The moon, rather than disappearing, glows with a new and startling color. A deep orange, a coppery red, sometimes tinged with crimson. It is as if the moon has been transformed into a glowing ember, floating quietly above the sleeping Earth. This phenomenon, the blood moon, has long stirred the human imagination. Ancient peoples saw omens in its fiery glow, a warning, a prophecy, a message from gods or spirits. But the truth is gentler, more wondrous, and entirely natural. The red moon is not burning. It is illuminated by Earth itself, painted with the colors of our atmosphere. Picture Earth from space during an eclipse. If you were standing on the moon, looking back, you would see Earth blocking the sun completely. Yet around its edges, a brilliant halo would shine, a thin ring of light refracted through our atmosphere. That halo is made up of every sunrise and sunset happening on Earth at that moment. The planet's rim glows like a fiery crown, and it is that light, bent and softened, that falls upon the moon. The process is rooted in physics. As sunlight enters Earth's atmosphere, it is scattered by air molecules and tiny particles. Shorter wavelengths, the blues and greens, scatter in many directions, which is why our skies appear blue by day. But the longer wavelengths, the reds, oranges, and ambers, travel straighter, bending gently through the curve of the atmosphere. During an eclipse, these reddish rays slip into the umbra, Earth's central shadow, and strike the moon. Thus, the moon takes on the hues of fire, though no flame touches it. There is poetry in this. While you stand on Earth, gazing up at the red moon, the light striking it has passed through sunsets and sunrises all around the globe. The colors you see are not from one horizon but from all horizons at once. Somewhere, on distant coasts and mountains, the sun is setting, painting the air in crimson and gold. Somewhere else, it is rising, spilling warm light into the dawn. All of those horizons combine, their rays bending through the sky, and together they bathe the moon in a collective glow. The exact shade of the eclipsed moon depends on Earth's atmosphere at that time. After volcanic eruptions, when ash and dust fill the air, the moon can appear darker, rustier, even brown. When the air is clear, it glows brighter, almost golden. In this way, the moon becomes a silent witness to the condition of our planet's air. Each eclipse is not only a cosmic alignment but also a reflection of Earth's breath, its clouds, its storms, and its dust. For those watching from the ground, the moment of totality can feel surreal. The familiar moon, so constant in its pale silver, now looks foreign and fragile. Its red glow hangs like a lantern in the dark, surrounded by stars that shine more boldly in the dimmer sky. Some people feel awe, others unease, but nearly everyone feels the sense that something profound is happening. A blending of earth, sun, and moon into a single act of light. Perhaps that is why cultures across history wrapped the blood moon in stories. The Incas believed it was being attacked by a jaguar, stained with its bite. In Mesopotamia, it was thought to signal danger for kings. In medieval Europe, it was sometimes seen as a harbinger of war or famine. Yet beyond the fears and myths, the red moon was always recognized as extraordinary, a sign that the heavens were alive and that Earth itself played a role in shaping what we saw above. In truth, the red moon is a reminder of connection. The sun provides the light, Earth bends and colors it, and the moon reflects it back to us. Three celestial bodies, bound by gravity, create a fleeting spectacle that touches every sky watcher on Earth. No matter where you stand, the same shadow, the same red glow, belongs to you as much as to anyone else. As totality deepens, you may feel time stretch. Minutes pass, but the moon seems suspended, glowing steadily with its otherworldly hue. Eventually, the glow begins to fade, silver creeps back across its edge, and the eclipse moves on. But for that span of time, the moon carried the color of all Earth's horizons, a reminder that light travels, bends, transforms, and still finds a way to shine even in shadow. The red moon rises not as a warning, but as a gift, the gift of seeing our world's atmosphere paint another world's face. It shows us that even in darkness, light finds a path, scattering, bending, and glowing anew. And as we move forward, we discover that this fiery display is not random, but part of a clockwork rhythm, one that ancient watchers studied and modern scientists have come to know in exquisite detail. To the casual eye, a lunar eclipse seems like an unpredictable wonder, a rare night when the moon changes face and glows with the color of fire. Yet hidden behind the poetry of shadow is a rhythm, as steady as a heartbeat, as patient as the ticking of an ancient clock. The cosmos, though vast and mysterious, keeps careful time. Human beings have long gazed at the skies with a mixture of awe and anxiety, wondering when the next eclipse would come. At first, it was seen as a surprise, a heavenly interruption that could not be anticipated. But with careful watching, with generations of eyes turned upward, patterns began to reveal themselves. Eclipses were not random. They belonged to a cycle repeating, whispering the same story across centuries. This cycle is known as the Saros cycle, a rhythm that stitches eclipses together across time. Every 18 years, 11 days, and 8 hours, the geometry of the sun, Earth, and moon repeats so closely that a nearly identical eclipse occurs. The same shadow, the same angle, the same choreography, returning as if the universe had set a metronome for light and darkness. To think that such a grand alignment could follow such precise mathematics is to glimpse the elegance of celestial mechanics. Imagine ancient astronomers noticing this. They had no telescopes, no satellites, no computers humming with orbital models. What they had was patience, memory, and an enduring relationship with the sky. In Babylon, more than 2,000 years ago, observers carefully recorded eclipses, carving their notations into clay tablets. They realized the patterns, saw the return of shadow at regular intervals, and discovered the Saros long before modern science confirmed it. To them, the heavens were not chaos but a calendar, a grand design written above. The predictability of eclipses carried deep meaning. Kings and priests could anticipate the awe of their people, shaping stories around an event they knew was coming. Sailors could navigate by knowing when the moon's glow might dim. Farmers could mark time by celestial rhythms. And centuries later, scientists would use these same cycles to refine our understanding of gravity, orbits, and even the shape of Earth itself. Yet the Saros cycle is not a perfect loop, not an exact copy. With each return, the eclipse drifts slightly in latitude, shifting its stage upon Earth's surface. A series of Saros-linked eclipses may last for more than 1,000 years, beginning as faint shadows and ending centuries later as grand total eclipses. Then the cycle dissolves, and a new one begins. The clock of the cosmos does not simply repeat. It evolves, slowly, gracefully, over spans longer than a human lifetime. There is something humbling about this. To know that the eclipse you see tonight belongs to a family of eclipses, stretching backward into history and forward into the far future. The red glow above you might be part of a sequence that once shone on Babylonian priests, that will one day shine on humans living in centuries you will never see. In this way, the moon is a bridge not only between Earth and sky but also between past and future. Modern science, of course, has turned prediction into precision. With computer models, astronomers can forecast eclipses thousands of years in advance. They can tell you the exact second when Earth's shadow will touch the moon, the duration of totality, the regions of Earth that will be able to see it. What was once a mystery is now a map. And yet, the wonder has not vanished. Even when we know the moment to expect it, the experience of watching the moon fall into shadow still feels like a miracle unfolding. Predictability, after all, does not diminish beauty. A sunrise comes every day, and yet we marvel at its colors. The tides rise and fall, and yet they still stir a sense of rhythm within us. So it is with eclipses. Their cycles may be written in the language of mathematics, but the feelings they inspire remain timeless. There is also comfort in this cosmic clockwork. In a world that often feels uncertain, the heavens reassure us with their steady patterns. We know the moon will be full again. We know shadows will return, and we know they will leave. The universe keeps its promises, written in light and shadow, in cycles that outlast generations. As you think of the Saros, imagine it not just as numbers and intervals but as a melody, a repeating theme in the symphony of the cosmos. Every eclipse is a note, resonating across time. Together, they form a song that humanity has listened to for thousands of years and will continue to hear long after we are gone. And so the red moon does not rise out of chance or chaos. It rises from the elegant dance of orbits, the whisper of geometry, the steady sweep of a cosmic clock. The predictability is not cold. It is wondrous, reassuring, like the gentle ticking of time itself. As we step from the precision of cycles into the stories they shaped, we find that eclipses are not just science but also culture, memory, and meaning. Shadows may be predictable, but the ways we respond to them have always been rich and varied. And so we turn now from the mathematics of cycles to the myths that once wrapped the moon in fear and reverence. When the moon slips into shadow and glows red, it does not only paint the night sky, it paints the minds and imaginations of those who watch. For as long as people have lifted their eyes to the heavens, the blood moon has carried meaning. Its strange glow felt too uncanny to be ordinary, too dramatic to be ignored. Before science explained shadows and refraction, stories grew to fill the silence of wonder. Across the ancient world, eclipses were seen as messages from beyond. To the Inca of South America, a blood moon meant the moon was under attack by a jaguar. People would bang drums and shout into the night, hoping to scare the beast away. In Mesopotamia, the crimson glow was thought to foretell danger for kings. Rituals were performed to protect rulers, sometimes even installing a temporary substitute king until the shadow passed. In these traditions, the moon was more than stone and dust. It was a divine presence whose fate intertwined with human destiny. China, too, wrapped the eclipsed moon in myth. There, it was said that a celestial dragon tried to swallow the moon whole. During an eclipse, people would strike gongs and drums, creating noise to frighten the dragon away. The ritual was both protective and communal, uniting villages in the shared task of saving their lunar companion. In other places, fear mingled with reverence. Ancient Hindus told of Rahu, a demon who sought to devour the sun and moon. When eclipses occurred, they believed Rahu was catching his prey. In Norse mythology, wolves named Skoll and Hati chased the sun and moon through the sky. When they caught them, eclipses began. The red moon, then, became a symbol of cosmic struggle, of predators and prey in an eternal chase. Yet not every culture looked upon the eclipsed moon with dread. Some saw it as a sacred sign, a moment of transformation. The Incas, though fearful of the jaguar, also believed that shamans could use the eclipse to commune with spirits. In other traditions, the blood moon marked renewal, a chance for cleansing and prayer. In this way, even shadows could become holy. What ties all these myths together is not their details but their intensity. The blood moon demanded a response. It interrupted the ordinary night sky, replacing comfort with mystery. Where there is mystery, humans tell stories, and those stories often reflected the anxieties and hopes of their time. Whether it was a fear of demons, a worry for rulers, or awe before the divine, eclipses became mirrors for human emotion. As centuries passed, understanding grew. Greek philosophers such as Aristotle noticed that Earth's shadow on the moon was always round, no matter where the eclipse occurred. From this, they reasoned that Earth itself must be round. The very phenomenon that once inspired fear became a clue, a quiet proof hidden in shadow. Slowly, myth gave way to measurement, and eclipses moved from omens to opportunities. Still, the myths never disappeared. Even today, the phrase blood moon carries an echo of mystery. Some modern voices tie eclipses to prophecies, weaving them into spiritual or apocalyptic visions. Others simply feel the pull of the same awe their ancestors knew, standing beneath the red moon and sensing something larger than themselves. There is something deeply human in this continuity. Thousands of years separate the drummers of ancient China from the stargazers of today, yet the sight is the same: a glowing moon turned red. Our interpretations may differ, but the emotional spark is shared. The moon links us not only to the sky but to one another, across time and culture. Imagine a quiet plain in Babylon, where priests record the strange event on clay tablets. Imagine a forest clearing where villagers pound drums to chase away dragons. Imagine a medieval field where peasants gaze upward, frightened and amazed. And then imagine yourself, standing in your own place and time, watching the same moon glow red. Across millennia, you are part of the same human story. The moon is not only a scientific object. It is a cultural companion, a storyteller, and a symbol. Its eclipses are reminders that humans have always sought meaning in the sky. And while we now understand the geometry and light that create the red glow, the feeling of wonder remains untouched. The myths may be different, but the awe is eternal. From the myths of jaguars and dragons, we move now into the present day. No longer ruled by fear, humanity has turned eclipses into shared celebrations. Moments when people around the world step outside together, united not by anxiety but by wonder. The shadow that once frightened us has become a reason to look up, to gather, to feel small beneath the vastness of the sky. On a quiet evening when a lunar eclipse is about to unfold, people still step outside and look up. The difference now is that we no longer fear the red moon as an omen. Instead, we anticipate it as a spectacle, a natural event that belongs to everyone, a shared performance in the sky. The same shadow that once inspired myths now invites community, curiosity, and a sense of belonging beneath the vast dome of night. In cities filled with artificial light, where the stars are often drowned in glow, a lunar eclipse still manages to command attention. Neighbors step out onto balconies. Families gather in backyards with blankets and cups of tea. Amateur astronomers set up telescopes in parks, their lenses pointed at the sky, eager to let strangers peek through and share the moment. Even those who are only half aware of astronomy find themselves glancing upward, curious about the faint dimming, the strange glow, the moon turning a shade it is never supposed to be. Modern science allows us to prepare for these nights with precision. News outlets announce the date and time, apps send reminders, and observatories live stream the event for those who cannot step outside. But while the technology is new, the act is old. Humans gathering under the sky, united in looking up. In a fractured world, the eclipse becomes a quiet ritual of togetherness, a reminder that we all share one moon. There is a hush to these gatherings. Unlike fireworks, an eclipse does not burst with sound or color. It arrives slowly, gently, with shadows that creep across the lunar surface like paint brushing a canvas. People wait, sometimes for hours, as the event unfolds. There is no rushing the cosmos. The rhythm of the eclipse teaches patience, encouraging us to sit still and let the universe move at its own pace. For many, the most magical part of watching an eclipse is the change in perspective. As Earth's shadow slides across the moon, the geometry of our world becomes visible. You can sense, in a quiet way, the reality that we live on a round planet, casting a shadow through space. The moon's transformation is not just beautiful. It is evidence of where we are, proof that we are part of a larger system of orbits and alignments. And then comes totality. When the silver glow is replaced by a deep, coppery red, murmurs rise among the crowd. Cameras click, telescopes shift, and for a moment, everyone shares a collective breath. The ordinary moon, so familiar, so unchanged night after night, is suddenly strange. It is like seeing a close friend wearing an unfamiliar expression, recognizable, yet transformed. That transformation sparks wonder. Children often ask questions. Why does it turn red? How long will it last? Will it happen again soon? In answering them, parents and teachers pass along not only knowledge but also a sense of wonder. The blood moon becomes a classroom without walls, a lesson written across the heavens. Science is no longer confined to books or screens. It is alive, glowing above us. There is also intimacy in watching an eclipse alone. Not everyone joins crowds or live streams. Some choose to step outside quietly, stand in their garden, or lie on a rooftop and watch in solitude. In that stillness, the event feels personal, as if the universe is performing only for you. The moon hangs silent, glowing red, and the night wraps itself gently around your thoughts. Whether shared or solitary, the eclipse offers a moment of reflection. Even in our modern world, where science has explained the phenomenon in exquisite detail, the feeling remains much the same as it did for our ancestors. Awe does not vanish when mystery is solved. The knowledge that light bends, that shadows align, that cycles repeat, adds depth rather than diminishes it. We do not lose wonder by understanding. We deepen it. Perhaps this is why eclipses continue to capture global attention. Social media fills with photographs, telescopes are carried into streets, people gather on hilltops, and voices from every continent share the same sight. It is not only a celestial alignment but a human one, bringing together people who may never meet, yet who for a moment look at the same red moon and feel the same quiet awe. And when the shadow begins to lift, when silver returns to the lunar edge and the moon resumes its familiar glow, there is a sense of release. People smile, fold up their blankets, return to their homes. The event is over, yet something lingers, the memory of standing beneath the cosmos, connected to others, reminded that the universe is vast but also shared. From these modern gatherings, our thoughts drift outward again, beyond Earth, to wonder. If eclipses inspire such wonder here, do they also occur elsewhere? Does Mars cast shadows on its moons? Does Jupiter's vast bulk create similar dances of light and darkness? As the moon returns to normal, we begin to imagine what eclipses might look like on other worlds. As we watch Earth's shadow sweep across the moon, it is natural to wonder, do other worlds experience the same spectacle? The answer is yes, though each eclipse is unique, shaped by the sizes, distances, and orbits of distant planets and their moons. Across our solar system, shadows play in ways both familiar and extraordinary, reminding us that the cosmic dance is universal. Take Mars, for instance, our neighboring planet. Mars has two tiny moons, Phobos and Deimos, and although they are small and irregular in shape, they still pass across the Sun from the Martian surface. Phobos, the larger of the two, moves so quickly that an eclipse lasts only a few minutes. Unlike Earth's serene lunar eclipses, the sky of Mars experiences fleeting shadows, racing across the red deserts in a brief but dramatic display. For any Martian observer, the rhythm of light and shadow is different, fast, and almost urgent, yet no less fascinating. Jupiter offers another wonder. Its four largest moons, Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto, orbit the giant planet in intricate patterns. From the surface of one moon, you could witness Jupiter itself eclipsing the sun, casting a vast shadow across its companions. These shadows trace brilliant paths of darkness on the swirling clouds below, moving like silent boats over a stormy sea of gas. Each moon experiences the interplay of light and shadow differently, yet together they form a complex, beautiful choreography, a cosmic symphony of alignment and eclipse. Saturn, with its rings and dozens of moons, creates eclipses that are equally enchanting. From Titan, Saturn's largest moon, the gas giant dominates the sky, blocking sunlight entirely when perfectly aligned. Rings cast additional shadows, fragmenting the light into bands, and creating partial eclipses of a sophistication Earth can barely imagine. On moons smaller or closer to Saturn, these eclipses happen more frequently, a constant reminder of the massive gravity that orchestrates such precise motion. Even Uranus and Neptune, though far and dim to our eyes, host similar phenomena. Their moons are smaller, their orbits slower, yet shadows still fall across alien surfaces. The principles are the same as on Earth. When a moon, planet, and star line up, darkness sweeps across the illuminated face, bending or blocking light, painting ephemeral patterns across the sky. Each eclipse is a miniature performance, unique to its world, yet governed by the same cosmic laws. Beyond our solar system, astronomers have observed eclipses on exoplanets, planets orbiting distant stars. These are often detected not by eyes, but by telescopes measuring starlight. When a planet passes in front of its star from our perspective, the light dips briefly, creating what scientists call a transit. It is the same principle as a lunar or solar eclipse. One body blocking another, shadows passing silently across space. Though we cannot yet see these distant eclipses with our own eyes, the method reveals that the dance of alignment is universal, not confined to Earth. Eclipses on other worlds also remind us of perspective. While Earthlings watch the moon glow red during totality, Martians, Jovians, and Titans experience eclipses differently. Sometimes fleeting, sometimes grand, sometimes fractured by rings or multiple moons. The same laws of physics govern them all, yet the experience is shaped by scale, distance, and orbital rhythm. The universe offers an infinite variety of shadow plays, each uniquely tailored to the worlds on which they occur. There is a quiet wonder in this universality. Shadows are not absent of light. They are expressions of geometry and motion. Wherever there is a star, there is a chance for alignment. Wherever there is a planet, there may be a moon to witness it. By observing Earth's lunar eclipses, we are glimpsing a principle that stretches across billions of kilometers, uniting planets, moons, and stars in a shared cosmic choreography. And so, as we step outside to watch the blood moon, we are participating in a tradition that transcends Earth. Across the solar system, across the universe, similar events unfold, some slowly, some rapidly, some in ways our eyes can barely imagine. Our moon is one among countless performers, and Earth's shadow is one of countless directors. To see it is to understand that we belong to a universe filled with patterns, alignments, and dances, repeating endlessly, patiently, beautifully. The eclipses of other worlds inspire awe not because they are visible to us, but because they remind us of connection. The laws of nature are universal. The play of light and shadow happens everywhere. And in that knowledge, we feel both small and profoundly linked, part of a universe vast beyond imagination, yet consistent, rhythmic, and alive. As the moon slowly emerges from Earth's shadow, its red glow fading back into silver, we return from distant worlds to our own. Yet the thought lingers. Eclipses are everywhere, echoes of the same cosmic music, reminding us that even in darkness, light travels, bends, and finds its way across space. Beneath the same moon that has inspired myths, science, and global gatherings, each of us experiences an eclipse in a deeply personal way. The moon, glowing red in shadow or silver in fullness, becomes more than a celestial object. It becomes a mirror of our thoughts, a companion to our quiet reflections, a witness to the moments when we pause and simply look upward. For some, the experience begins in solitude. Standing in a backyard, on a balcony, or in a quiet field, you notice the faint dimming of the moon first, a subtle penumbral shadow, almost imperceptible. No one else may be around, yet the sky itself feels intimate, as if the universe has chosen this moment to speak directly to you. The moon's slow journey into darkness invites patience. You breathe, your heartbeat quiets, and a sense of calm spreads. The red glow that will eventually appear seems almost inevitable, a gentle reminder that change, even in the cosmos, unfolds gradually. Others feel the eclipse more socially. Friends, families, neighbors, sometimes strangers, gather beneath the sky. Conversations slow. Laughter softens. People point toward the moon, whispering observations or asking questions. For a brief time, differences fade, replaced by a shared sense of wonder. To see the same celestial event alongside others is to recognize that, despite distance or circumstance, we are united under one sky. The personal and the collective intertwine, like threads of a tapestry, colored by curiosity, awe, and quiet reverence. Children often approach the event with unfiltered wonder. They ask why the moon is changing, why it is red, why it disappears and returns. Their questions are simple but profound, and in answering them, we reconnect with our own sense of amazement. To a child, the moon may be magical in a way that transcends science, yet the science does not diminish the magic, it enhances it. Understanding the bending of light, the shadow of Earth, and the rhythm of orbits allows the mind to marvel at complexity, even as the heart delights in beauty. Even seasoned astronomers experience personal awe. They may know the exact time of totality, the precise angle of the moon in the sky, the duration of the eclipse down to the second. Yet when totality arrives, when the moon glows red and the stars appear brighter, they are as captivated as anyone else. Knowledge does not replace wonder. It deepens it. The personal moon is the same for all observers. Intimate, transformative, and profound. The eclipse also invites reflection. Watching familiar light dim, we are reminded of impermanence. Shadows are not permanent, and neither is anything in life. The moon slips into darkness and returns, gentle yet inevitable. This rhythm mirrors our own cycles of rest, of challenge, of quiet growth. It is a cosmic meditation on patience, change, and renewal. We are participants in cycles far larger than ourselves, moving with planets, moons, and stars through patterns that stretch across space and time. Artistic minds may find inspiration in the red glow, poets in the shadow, and thinkers in the alignment of orbits. The moon becomes a canvas upon which we project imagination, emotion, and memory. A moment spent observing an eclipse can linger for years, recalled on ordinary nights, recalled in journals, paintings, or quiet stories told to friends. The personal moon is not only what we see in the sky but also what we carry inside ourselves after the shadow has passed. Even those who view the eclipse briefly, from a car window or an office rooftop, feel a quiet shift. For a few minutes, the mundane world pauses. The moon commands attention, demanding that we notice. A reminder that even in routine, extraordinary moments are possible. It reminds us that wonder does not require perfect conditions, large crowds, or expensive instruments. It only requires awareness and the willingness to look up. Ultimately, the personal moon is a reflection of our connection to the cosmos. It bridges the scientific and the emotional, the collective and the solitary. It invites mindfulness, reminding us that we are part of a vast universe, yet intimately present under the same sky. Shadows pass, colors change, light returns, and in that gentle cycle, the personal experience of the moon deepens, comforting, inspiring, and connecting us. As the moon begins to emerge from Earth's shadow, silver returning to its face, we carry the quiet memory with us. Each eclipse is unique, fleeting, and deeply personal, yet it belongs to everyone who gazes upward. The moon rises again and again, steady and familiar, yet always offering the possibility of wonder, reflection, and connection. From this personal experience, our thoughts can now turn to the scientific revelations that eclipses bring. Shadows, it turns out, are never empty. They contain insights, measurements, and clues that have helped humanity understand the moon, Earth, and even the wider cosmos. The moon, glowing red in Earth's shadow, is not only a spectacle for the eyes and heart, it is a laboratory for the mind. Lunar eclipses have allowed humanity to study our nearest celestial neighbor in ways that a silver moon alone could not provide. In shadow, light bends, colors shift, and subtle details emerge. What seems like absence is, in fact, full of revelation. Astronomers have long used eclipses to study the lunar surface. As the moon passes through Earth's umbra, sunlight filtered through our atmosphere illuminates it in muted red. This allows scientists to observe changes in surface brightness that are normally drowned in silver glare. Craters, plains, and highlands reveal textures and contrasts, helping refine maps and identify compositions. Shadows, often thought of as empty, become tools of insight, highlighting the moon's topography in ways daylight never could. Eclipses also reveal information about Earth itself. The red glow depends on the state of our atmosphere. Dust, volcanic ash, clouds, and pollutants all affect how sunlight bends and scatters before reaching the moon. Historical records of lunar eclipses have even been used to track major volcanic eruptions. By analyzing past observations, scientists can deduce the presence of atmospheric particles that once colored the moon, linking celestial events to terrestrial history. In this sense, the moon becomes a mirror of Earth's own environment. Observations during eclipses have contributed to our understanding of orbital mechanics. By timing the progression of the moon through Earth's shadow with precision, astronomers can refine calculations of the moon's orbit, its speed, and the slight shifts caused by gravitational tugs from Earth and other planets. Even before telescopes, careful records of eclipses helped ancient astronomers determine the moon's size and distance from Earth. Shadows were not merely artistic phenomena, they were data waiting to be read. Eclipses have also informed theories about the moon's atmosphere, or rather, its almost complete absence. Unlike Earth, the moon lacks a dense layer of gases to scatter sunlight, which makes the reddish color during an eclipse entirely the result of Earth's atmosphere. This contrast has allowed scientists to compare atmospheres, refine models of light scattering, and understand the delicate interactions between light, shadow, and space. The scientific value of eclipses extends even further. Lunar eclipses inspired innovations in observational technique. Telescopes, photometers, and spectroscopes were all tested and refined using eclipses, which provided predictable events of measurable brightness and color. Each eclipse became a training ground, a cosmic classroom for generations of astronomers. What is seen in shadow becomes knowledge, proof that the universe communicates if we know how to observe. There is also beauty in the connection between shadow and discovery. For centuries, eclipses prompted questions, and the answers revealed fundamental truths. Aristotle noticed that Earth's shadow was always round during an eclipse, leading to the conclusion that Earth itself is spherical. Modern scientists measure the moon's subtle color changes to understand the presence of dust in the upper atmosphere. Shadows, so often associated with mystery or fear, are in fact carriers of clarity. Even amateur astronomers contribute to science. Observers around the world photograph eclipses, record timings, and measure brightness, often sharing their data with professionals. Each report, each measurement, becomes part of a global effort to understand the moon, Earth, and their interactions. A simple act of watching, of noting, transforms awe into discovery. Perhaps the most profound lesson of science in the shadows is that absence can be illuminating. When the moon slips into darkness, it is not empty. It contains information about light, about distance, about our own planet. It reminds us that observation is not only about what shines brightly, but also about what emerges when light is filtered, bent, and shaped by the cosmos. Shadows are not a void, they are a lens, a filter, a teacher. And so, as the moon slowly drifts from totality back into silver brightness, we recognize that eclipses serve multiple roles at once. They are moments of wonder, stories that connect humans across time, personal reflections of light and shadow, and scientific laboratories in the sky. The red moon is both poetry and data, imagination and measurement, beauty and knowledge. From this understanding of science, we turn to the broader perspective, the eternal rhythms of eclipses. The moon will continue its dance with Earth's shadow for millions of years, and each eclipse will carry the lessons, the patterns, and the quiet magic we have discovered. Even as the moon slips back into its familiar silver glow, the story of eclipses does not end. Across millennia, across centuries, across countless nights, the moon continues its journey in a rhythm older than any human memory. Shadows rise and fall, light bends and returns, and the cosmic dance carries on with quiet precision. This eternal rhythm is both a comfort and a marvel, a reminder that the universe moves with patterns that are patient, predictable, and endlessly fascinating. The moon orbits Earth faithfully, tracing the same path night after night. Its phases wax and wane, a cycle older than civilizations. Some nights it is a sliver of silver, delicate and shy. Some nights it is full, radiant, commanding. And occasionally, when the sun, Earth, and moon align perfectly, the moon passes through Earth's shadow, turning red, ephemeral, and extraordinary. This is the dance of alignments, repeating endlessly, yet never exactly the same twice. From our vantage point, each eclipse is unique, a performance in light and shadow, yet it is part of a chain that stretches far into the past and far into the future. The same geometry that produced eclipses for ancient observers will continue to produce them for generations yet unborn. The Saros cycle whispers across time, linking eclipses like notes in a cosmic symphony, each one echoing the previous and hinting at the next. In this rhythm, we see both continuity and change, permanence and impermanence, woven together in quiet harmony. There is solace in this rhythm. In a world that often feels chaotic, eclipses remind us of order, of cycles that outlast individual lives and human history. The moon rises and falls, shadows sweep across its surface, and light returns with gentle certainty. Each eclipse is a reassurance that some things, even in a vast and unpredictable universe, are dependable. They teach patience, perspective, and a sense of belonging to something greater than ourselves. Consider the patience of observing an eclipse. From the first penumbral shadow to totality and back again, the moon's transformation unfolds slowly, gracefully, without hurry. The rhythm of the cosmos is not rushed. It is deliberate. By aligning our attention with this rhythm, we attune ourselves to a pace far larger than our daily concerns, a tempo written in orbits, gravity, and the passage of light. It is a quiet meditation performed in the sky, a gentle lesson in timing and patience. Across centuries, humans have watched this rhythm and recorded it, from Babylonian clay tablets to modern computer simulations. We have measured, calculated, predicted, and shared eclipses, turning fleeting moments of wonder into knowledge. And yet, even with precise predictions, the magic persists. Knowing when totality will occur does not diminish the awe of seeing it, just as knowing the moon is made of rock and dust does not reduce its beauty. There is a harmony between understanding and feeling, between science and poetry, that each eclipse embodies. The eternal rhythm also reminds us of impermanence. Shadows pass, light returns, and nothing remains in one state forever. Yet within that change lies constancy. The moon will rise again, and it will eclipse again, and the cycles will continue, steady as the heartbeat of the cosmos. In this, we find a quiet mirror for our own lives. Moments of darkness are temporary, and light always returns. Patience and observation reveal the patterns, and in recognizing them, we discover comfort. Even now, as you watch the moon or recall the memory of an eclipse, the rhythm continues. Shadows move silently across lunar plains. Earth's atmosphere bends sunlight, and somewhere, someone else lifts their eyes to the sky. The pattern connects us across time, linking observers past and future, near and far, in a shared appreciation of light and shadow, mystery and understanding. And when the moon has returned fully to its familiar silver glow, the lessons of the eclipse remain. We have witnessed cycles, predictability, and beauty. We have felt connection, reflection, and awe. We have seen that shadows are not absence but presence, carriers of light, knowledge, and meaning. The eternal rhythm is a lullaby of the universe, steady and gentle, a reminder that life, like the moon, moves in cycles that are predictable yet endlessly inspiring. As you close your eyes, letting the images of the red moon fade softly into memory, carry this rhythm with you. Let it be a gentle reassurance that the cosmos continues, that the moon will rise again, that shadows will pass, and that light, in its many forms, always returns. In this eternal rhythm, we find both wonder and calm, a cosmic lullaby for restless minds and tired hearts alike. You have journeyed tonight beneath the moon, through shadows and light, across myths and science, and into the quiet wonder of the cosmos. You have followed Earth's shadow as it crept across the lunar surface, watched the moon glow red in totality, and felt the eternal rhythm of cycles that connect us to generations past and those yet to come. Every stage, every shift of light, has reminded us of our place in the universe, small, yet profoundly connected. Eclipses are more than visual spectacles. They are reminders of perspective. They teach patience, curiosity, and awe. They show that even in darkness, light travels, bends, and transforms, and that every shadow is temporary. In the red moon, we see both science and story, fact and imagination, observation and feeling. And in watching it, we are reminded that the universe continues its quiet dance, steady and reliable, even as we drift through our own cycles of change. Tonight, beneath the same sky that inspired ancient myths and modern science, take a moment to breathe, to notice, to reflect. Whether you watched the eclipse alone, with friends, or simply in your mind's eye, know that you are part of a lineage of observers, humans who have lifted their eyes to the sky and felt awe at the same lunar shadow. Your experience, personal yet universal, joins countless others across time and space. And as the moon resumes its familiar silver glow, let it reassure you. The cycles continue, the light returns, and shadows pass. Tomorrow, the moon will rise again, steady as ever. Life moves in patterns, gentle and eternal, and the cosmos quietly invites you to rest, to dream, and to feel wonder even in darkness. If tonight's journey brought you calm, curiosity, or a sense of connection, I invite you to share it with others. Subscribe to The Thoughtful Night, leave a like, and comment below to tell me where you are watching the moon tonight. Your sky, my sky, one sky. Across oceans, continents, and cities, we are all under the same moon, sharing the same shadow, the same wonder. And now, as your eyes grow heavy and your mind drifts towards sleep, carry the moon's gentle rhythm with you. Let the red glow, the subtle shadows, and the quiet knowledge of cycles lull you. Rest under the same sky that has always watched over us, steady, patient, and full of light. Tomorrow, the moon will rise again, shadows will dance, and the universe will continue its timeless song. Good night, and may your dreams be filled with the calm, the awe, and the infinite wonder of the moon.